Hello.
Hey, what's up, Bruce? Bruce, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I
Okay.
can I can hear and see you now.
Okay, what up, brother Bruce? How you doing, brother Bruce?
Okay, and yourself?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I see we have another Cowboys fan in the vicinity.
No, not at all. Not at all. This is it's my shirt that I just made after watching Harriet. It's the North Star.
Okay.
So
Just making sure it wasn't the Lone Star.
nah, not at
Like
all.
like like Miss Lartigue, just making sure.
So is it just you and I on tonight, or?
No, I feel like she should be joining us momentarily. She's probably backstage getting
Oh, okay.
getting her lighting together, hopefully.
Oh, okay.
So, brother Bruce, if you don't mind me asking, how do you know Miss Lartigue?
Just been working in the community for so many years. I've been working in Trenton community for over 20 years, and that's about the time she was on council during that time. And you know, that's it.
Absolutely. And I see the boss is messing with the presentation. So boss, you also have to add yourself to the presentation so we can see and hear you as well. There we go.
All
I am
right.
here. I am here. I'm suffering allergies tonight. How is everybody?
Oh, we're good. Thank you. How are you?
Were you able to hear my music?
No.
Oh, well, I wasn't singing. I hope you guys are hydrating tonight.
Oh, yep.
Make sure you have it.
Absolutely.
Good evening. Bruce and Josh, I see you've met. You want to introduce yourselves, please? Josh, what is this camera angle like?
So you might want to do the one to the right of it. It'll make it more spaced out. There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Here we are. How's
So,
that lighting?
what if I flip so I can have full screen? There you go.
Oh, there we go.
That's okay. We're all good. So you guys want to take a minute and just introduce yourself, Bruce? I'm going to start with you.
Oh, I really can't hear you. It's like I don't know if it's my phone or it's just a lot of chatter when you're talking.
Josh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So Bruce,
No,
do
it's
you
my
have a
phone.
mic?
It's my phone.
It might be the headphones. If you have headphones, that might help.
No, I think it was. I can hear you now.
How about me? How do I sound?
Choppy.
Choppy.
It's off and on. Now you sound right. You sound good right there.
I sound good right here?
Yep.
Well, I'm suffering allergies tonight, so work with me a little bit, please. Good evening, Bruce. Hey, I want to welcome everybody to Coaching You For You. I am your host, Annette, and I have some phenomenal folks here with us today. Bruce Boyd, somebody that you guys know I admire and respect. I mention him often here on the podcast, and he is with us tonight. Bruce, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, thank you for having me. Bruce Boyd, lived in the city of Trenton for 36 years or so. Um, did a lot of things in the city and still doing a lot of things in the city. And I'm just happy to be here tonight. I don't like talking a lot about myself. So, you know.
Well, we're going to make sure they know because I mention you often. Josh Waring, tell us a little bit about Josh. Hey,
Well, yeah.
Josh, it's good to have you back.
Thank you for having me back, boss. And I am a content creator and creative strategist for content creators who want to take their content creating to the next level, in addition to other, small businesses and entrepreneurs who also looking for innovative solutions, especially now.
Cool. So tonight, we're going to talk about you guys a little bit more in depth in other news. But right now, I want to talk about if you don't start, you can't win. If you don't begin, you can't win. And so, Josh, I'm going to start with you here. Tell me a little bit about what that means to you and some of the things that you've done to jumpstart your career, because you have a very colorful career in terms of podcasting, and we're going to get to that. And Bruce has a great career as a community influencer, and we're going to get to that. And so, Josh, come on with it.
Absolutely. So I'll be completely transparent with you both, right? The boss said, bring the tea. So let's bring the tea. So for me, I've always been paralyzed by perfection, being a perfectionist, trying to be, perfect all the time, which, as we know, is literally impossible. However, It never stopped me from trying to do it. However, by having that perspective, it stopped me from taking action on things that I would need to grow into, as we all would need to grow into. Because when you first start, you're not going to be a maestro, right? You're not going to be a master. You're not going to be an expert. It's never going to happen. You can be incredibly gifted and start higher than others, but you'll never know unless you actually try. So when I hear this statement, it gets me incredibly joyful, because I feel like someone's going to believe in themselves more and take action on themselves, invest in themselves, and believe in themselves.
And what does believing in yourself look like?
For me, it means actively taking action on yourself in situations where you wouldn't. Like, we'll have that internal dialogue that's sometimes negative, unfortunately, and will talk us out of doing things because we can anticipate the negative peanut gallery, be like, oh, that's not going to work. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you have no business doing X, Y, and Z. So at times you're just going to have to disregard all that and just essentially jump without the parachute and believe that your talent will be the parachute.
That's right. I like that. Come on, Bruce, give it to us.
I love that, because I built our program, Building Our Youth Development, on that founding principle, the belief in yourself. And believing in yourself is just that thing that it's not about being conceited, it's about being courageous and confident. And once you believe in yourself, you don't have to answer to anything that doesn't belong to you, So you don't subscribe to the stereotypes, because you know who you are. So definitely that's what I've been doing for the last 17 years, this is our 18th year of Building Our Youth Development. And it's just building is that's what it stands for. Building Our Youth Development, the power of belief, understanding who you are. And when you understand who you are, you start to move with that purpose. And when you move with that purpose, you live a purposeful life. And that's the one thing I strive for our young people to understand, is what is their being? Why are they here? Understanding that purpose. And when you know that purpose, you just move differently.
Oh, yeah, you do move differently. And so, we're talking about what being in your purpose, what starting looks like. Tell me, Bruce, about one of your greatest fears when you started, and you branched out and launched one of your greatest
Well,
pieces.
my biggest fear was, I think it's everything. Everybody has it, not being accepted, not knowing if it was going to work. And that was the biggest fear. And then once you overcome that fear, you just move differently again. It's what Josh was saying too. You know, you have to start somewhere, and you have to break the mold of what society says, what society looks like. So I started this career of youth development without a college degree. I started
Mhm.
teaching without a college degree. I started not just teaching students, I started teaching teachers and teaching after school providers. And I don't have a teaching background. So with all of that, it's, you know, again, I live what I teach because I don't want people to think that just because you don't have something, or you don't have what society or what people think you should have, that you don't go into doing what is in your heart, what's in you, what God has given to you. And I always said that from a long time ago. You know, don't look at me and say, how is he doing that? You know, you better ask God. You know,
Ah,
that's
you
where it
better
was.
ask God. I like that. I like that. But I want, and typically when I have more than myself on this podcast, I choose the landing statement from something that you say. And Bruce, already you've given it to me. You have to start somewhere.
Yes.
You have to start somewhere. Come on, Josh, give it to me.
So, right, to answer your question, my biggest fear was missing the opportunity, right? Because opportunities you cannot take for granted, and they
Yeah.
can only be a sliver of a door opening or a crack opening. And as we know, God works in mysterious ways, and one of those mysterious ways might be this little itty bitty crack. And the only way you can go through that door is by your own self belief and walking with Him, obviously. So that's one of those things. But I do have to say to Brother Bruce, I appreciate you being courageous in your action and doing that. Like, we appreciate that in the community. And it kind of reminds me, and the boss will know this. So my father is H. Lee Waring Esquire and is an attorney. And growing up, he would teach me things about how, you know, the bar itself, the institution that you have to become certified to practice law in America, it was actually created to prevent people who look like us from actually being accepted by the bar. So as Brother Bruce was saying, there's always going to be things, there's always going to be hurdles to prevent you from doing things, especially from society, especially when we look like us. So I think it's imperative that we teach the younger generation to disregard everything that society says and focus more on what they feel and believe in themselves internally. So thank you guys for both doing that in the community, especially in Trenton.
Trenton is Trenton grew me. Trenton grew me. I was born and raised here, and I am incredibly proud of this city and many of the people in it. Unfortunately, what is pushed out to other communities is not typically us. And that's what this podcast is about. I'd like to showcase us. I want to showcase us doing it in the community. I'm going to showcase others as well. But the reason we matter is because we're endangered. And so, Bruce, I need you to keep telling people, just start. Just start. You know, education is good. I don't want to mix the message here. It's good, but it's not everything. There is nothing that replaces wisdom and experience. And that's why you have so many bosses with great education and no common sense. And you have people who have these tremendous degrees and they don't have a clue. So, although that requires balance, education requires balance. And sometimes we have to understand what's most important is to bring to the table what we want to see. I am the youngest of a lot of kids. And age doesn't matter. People will tell you sometimes, oh, you got to move over and let the younger generation in. Of course you do. That's what planning is all about. But the younger generation has to get prepared.
Absolutely.
People are suffering in relationships. They're suffering in jobs, at the office. They're suffering in business because they are afraid to start. We have to start somewhere. Bruce, make a t-shirt. We have to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere.
That's it.
And if you believe you can do anything, let's talk for a minute about doubt killing more dreams, and I'm quoting somebody, than failure ever will. Talk to me, Josh.
Absolutely. Like I said, doubt can also be as paralyzing as being a perfectionist. So I think they still serve a similar purpose in preventing people from taking that action, because I feel like at the end of the day, it's about believing in yourself, as we all said. And it's more than just the mentality. Your actions need to be congruent with your thoughts, right? Because your mind and your body have to work together in order for you to actually manifest your desired future. So you have to temporarily, as some, coaches would say, you have to temporarily become the future version of yourself in order for your current self to meet that future person. So even if in the present you're like, oh, I can't do any of this. Well, if you want to get there, your future person, your future version of yourself already did that. So take confidence from that and then start taking that action. And I think over time, you'll create habits of disregarding all that doubt, the same way people like Michael Jordan or RIP Kobe Bryant have that mentality. Like, you know what? I missed this shot, but the next one's going in. And guess what? Even if I missed the next one's going in regardless, because I'm Kobe Bryant, because I'm Michael Jordan. You got to have that inner moxie, if you will.
Bruce.
Well, absolutely. One of the things I really believe in is just understanding that we talk ourselves out of more things than we talk ourselves into, so instead of saying, well, what if I fail, we should be asking ourselves, well, what happens if I succeed? And then that's when the planning starts, right? So when I succeed at this, what is the next level to this thing that I'm going to succeed at? So many times we think about, if we fail, then we won't even try. That's that fear piece that people get stuck in. When I started Boyd, I was thinking small. I said, I just want to help this one school out. I just want to help PJ Hill. And before long, it was 7 other schools. And after 7 schools, then it was 3 school districts and 2 charter schools. So it just started to grow. And I didn't really envision that to be that way. However, once it started to grow, then I said, I want to take this nationwide, so that's the process. And it doesn't have to happen fast. And that's one of the things I've learned when I start seeing how it was catching. I said, I wanted to take this nationwide, but some things you just have to take it slow, and I realized that, and we've been through one recession, we've been through a COVID thing now, we've been through a whole lot, and we're still standing, we're still educating, enriching lives, empowering people, and exposing their families and them to the world beyond their environment. And it all started with a simple belief of what happens if I succeed.
And you have succeeded. You have done it. Both of you are Black men who are getting it done. I can't tell you how extremely proud I am of you and the things that you're doing. I mean, overwhelmingly so. And what I want to do is take these next couple of minutes to just say a few things, and then I'm going to come back to each of you. And I want you to tell me about Boyd. And Josh, I want you to tell me about Poetic Charm. And there's a second one. Okay. Just give me a snapshot of them. And here's what I want to tell you before you begin. I am going to take you across the country. because I'm going to spend the money to boost this post to ensure that people all over this country will see it. I want you to know that. I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing, and that's why you're on the podcast tonight. I believe in you. I'm going to sing at the end, and a lot of people won't like that. And a lot of people think I can't sing, but just because they think I can't doesn't mean I won't.
That's right.
I will. Wherever I go, I'll sing because I love to sing. But I want to tell the audience this. Coaching you for you. Hear me and hear me now. You have to start somewhere. Bruce said it. Josh said you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Listen, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody. And I don't care how much people love you. They're not coming to save you. Save yourself. Launch yourself now. Believe in yourself right now. Give it a chance. Have that bow and arrow ready and shoot straight. Know what you want. Understand where you've been. Know where you want to go. And just believe. A funny story, a short one, is this. For a long time, I believed something about myself. And I'm not going to say what it is. It's none of your business. But I believed something about myself. And one of them is that I could sing. Because my mother and father told me I could. They told me I could. I believed that for years. My brothers fought me. My sisters fought me like, shut up. You can't sing. I believed I did. But there was another thing. And I remember going away to college and somebody telling me, you don't think A, B, C, D, and E. And I said, yes, I do. And they said, no, please don't do that. And I said, you'll never stop me from believing this. I believe it. So what you think doesn't matter. Listen, remember this tonight if you don't remember anything else. What other people think of you have nothing to do with you. It's your character. Because that's what you do. And Bruce, that's what I admire about you. It's your character. It's what you do. It's what you keep doing. Josh, I love that you have an audience for people where people can come in and talk about things that sometimes make my cheeks red. But I love it. I love it because people need to hear the truth. So Bruce, come on and tell me about Boyd. Tell me in plain, simple English, quickly, who is Boyd?
Boyd is simply an organization that we couldn't stand on the sideline and talk about young people being lost. We had to get in the game and help them find themselves, help them find their way, give them the real truth about African American history, and allow them to see that we are more than. And that's one of the things that's going to be my next shirt. We're more than your stereotypes. We're more than your false beliefs. We're more than what you try to put on us. And once young people realize that, society has given them this box and has placed them in this box of being a rapper, being a dancer, being an entertainer, being a sports person. But one of the things I've learned today, and it's not really being said, but one of the a black scientist, a black woman scientist, was one who helped develop the COVID vaccination. And so, when we hear all these people, I ain't taking this, I ain't taking that, but we are the scientists. We are still Hidden Figures, and our young people can understand that all history is not made, and they are the history makers, and they have to believe that, because they have to start to understand that we are not just consumers in this world. And this is what Boyd does. We're not consumers in this world. We are the makers of America. We made America. And I want them to understand that, debunk those stereotypes, and I'll teach it and say it and pray it every day until they understand, so they don't have to keep putting guns to each other. They don't have to keep belittling each other. They have to start to uplift one another. And that's the mission. That's the goal of Boyd.
The mission and goal of Boyd. Are you listening? It's an uplift. It's a launch. It's a launch of you. It's a launch of your boys. And let me tell you something. No matter where you go and what you do and how strong you think you are, I want you to remember that our men and our boys matter. And they matter for more reasons than we can list here tonight. But the most important one I want you to remember is that they are endangered. Bring it, Josh.
Absolutely. So Poetic Charm is one of my podcasts. It's a dating podcast that helps men understand their value in the dating market. And we also give ladies an insight into how men think and why we do what we do, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about educating each other so we have better relationships moving forward. Because as we can see from society, from media, from pop culture, usually, and we see this even in, if we look at the history books, we saw this during the Jim Crow era. We saw this during slavery. We saw this all the way back in Africa, in the Congo, when you had the Hutus and the Tutsis and things like that. So when you have the whole concept of dividing and conquer. So this is about bringing us together so we actually understand how we feel and how we are based upon facts and logic and experiences, right? And not opinions and fallacies that are perpetuated by society's indoctrination.
And I thank you. You also have the Creative Gourd.
Absolutely. Creative Gourd is another platform that I have with my brother, Mikhail Yisrael, who's also a petty graduate, and he's in higher education. And he is one of my favorite people in the world because he's also an Aquarian. But in addition, he loves our people, and I think he's going to be one of the people that brings us into the new age of ownership and Black love and all those things. So I'm just always grateful to share a mic with him.
I'm grateful to share a mic with you guys tonight. And Josh, I want to thank you because dating is a big part of where we're failing. And we're failing because we fail to understand and take people exactly where they are. And with this new online dating, it is a whole new world. It's a whole new way of living. But if I can't tell you anything else tonight about dating, what I want you to know, as a woman who has been widowed and had the experience of dating again, be a friend first. Be a friend first. See it for what it is and understand that the only person you can change is yourself. Bring to the table in business, in relationships, and at play what you want to see. And so, in other news, here's another thing. This is the surprise question. After this one, Bruce, if you want to leave anybody with one statement, what would it be?
One statement is move with a purpose.
Move with a purpose and start somewhere. Thank you. Josh.
Thoughts plus actions equals results.
That's right. And we walk around talking about faith. Faith without works is dead. I want to thank you guys for coming on here tonight. I want people to understand that no matter what you see, where you are, and what you believe, if you don't start, if you don't begin, you're not going to win. And nothing will change that. That's the way of the world. You have to start somewhere to begin. Bruce Boyd said it best. This is our landing statement. You have to start somewhere. Come on, y'all. Let's get it. This is about change. This is about us. This is about improving ourselves. This is about understanding that there are people out here like Bruce Boyd and Josh Warren who are bringing it to the table. Follow these guys on Facebook. They're going to be on YouTube now. Josh is. Bruce is on his way, if he isn't already. And these are men I admire and respect. They are bringing the noise. They are bringing to the table what they want to see in the community. I want to say thank you, Bruce. I admire and respect you. Josh, my number one dude, somebody who has worked with me for years and who understands that your reputation is not what people think. It's what you do. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us here at Coaching You For You. Ruth Boyd, I want to see you franchise boys. Take it across the nation. Let's create some franchises. Josh, keep telling them what it is, baby, because they want to hear it. They need to hear it. You have what it takes, and you guys rock. Thank you for joining me here tonight at Coaching You For You. I am your host, Annette, and I'm going to leave you with a little something. Here it is. Have a good night. Thank you.